All right, now we're ready. Okay, as I was saying, nobody likes to talk about paying for college, but it is something that is a very, very important topic to discuss. And no matter where you are in your college search process, it's a good thing to start getting in touch with what that's about, how to do it, and also to kind of bring in the whole family in all of that discussion as well. So we're going to go over a few things in this presentation. I'm going to start with telling you a little bit more about myself. My name is Sarah Jean Gilbert. I serve as Associate Director of Admission at Illinois College. We're located in Jacksonville, Illinois. I'm also the California Admission Counselor. I'm originally from the East Bay area, so I love recruiting California students because I know that if they're interested in us, they're interested in doing something a little bit different. They also are a little interested in doing something different than their friends, having an adventure, and I love helping to make that possible. So I'll go a little bit more into what we're going to go to just here. All right, so a little bit more about me. I've been working in the field of admission and enrollment management for about 10 years. So I am really familiar with having tough conversations with families about paying for college. And the only reason why I say it's a tough conversation is that often folks are not ready to have that conversation when we do. And so I think starting as early as possible is a really great thing. More than anything, I love talking about the value of what students are getting for their tuition dollars at any school that I am working for. So I want to make sure that I'm letting you know, if you're a prospective student, what you're getting for what you would be paying. I also really firmly believe in college access and making sure that we can make the great experience that you would get here at Illinois College really affordable. And overall, I know that there are tons and tons of awesome schools out there that maybe you haven't heard of. And that doesn't mean that it won't be a great fit for you. So I always recommend kind of keeping your mind out there, get some feelers out there, see what's out there, because you just never know where you might end up and you never know what kind of adventure you're going to be on. And originally I had said that I am from the East Bay. I'm from Castro Valley, California, and my mom still lives there, and I love going back to visit my East Bay family. A few key phrases, because I know that sometimes the college search process can have a lot of those phrases that sound like in talk, right? That you have to understand what it means in order to understand what it means. So I wanted to throw these out here before we get started. The first is sticker price. So sticker price, you might kind of think of maybe buying a car or something like that. It's a similar thing. So it's referring to the total cost to attend a college or university before you add in what you're getting for scholarships, grants, loans, or any other financial aid options. I do like to talk a lot about value, and I will. The value is just basically what a student gains from an education at a college or university that makes their diploma worth a ton more than an actual piece of paper, the experiences that you get. Also, net price is going to be a part of that. It refers to the actual cost of attendance, the sticker price, and figuring in all of those scholarships, grants, loans, etc. I might also refer to this as your actual cost of attendance. Merit scholarships. So those are scholarships that students are awarded based solely on their academic successes in high school, your GPA, your test scores, etc. And always, we're going to talk about the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. This is where students and families are encouraged to file their FAFSA and provide tax information in order to qualify for federal and possibly state aid. I do acknowledge that undocumented students are not, or students whose families are undocumented are not able to file the FAFSA, but there are alternative applications, and we always encourage folks to be able to file that as well. Those are a couple of key phrases. Hopefully that'll help you to understand a little bit more once we get deeper into this discussion. A little bit of advice, because I can't stress this enough. There's a lot of college search advice, and I'm sure that folks in your family or your high school counselors or other, you're going to get a lot of advice, but I want to just throw this out to you because this is from one admission professional to prospective student. These are some things that you want to think about. Definitely do your research. Take a look at what's out there. It's really important to do that, and do it over the course of your college search, because there's going to be things that are that will come to your attention, and you might be surprised at how exciting those opportunities look. So look outside of what you know or what's familiar to your family or the folks around you. Make sure that you're doing that college search for you. That's the one at the bottom, but I'm going to say it more than once. This is your experience. And yes, the family has a lot to do with that influence, but this is going to be your experience. And so you want to make sure that it's what's best for you. We like to say at Illinois College that you need to decide what your deal breakers are. So what those things are that a college has to have in order for you to be able to feel really comfortable there, to feel like it might be a home for the next 4 years, and to feel like you could do really well there. So those deal breakers are going to be pretty important. And then work with your high school counselor closely. Make sure that you're taking advantage of all the resources that they're offering. They do an amazing job and work very, very hard for you. So make sure you're taking advantage of those opportunities. We like to work closely with high school counselors because they know what's up. They know what you're doing. They know all of those things. And so definitely take advantage of that resource. And what's really relevant for this discussion today is start talking with your family about your plans to pay for college. It's not an easy conversation, but it is going to be really important as you move forward and start talking about those deal breakers. If you're able, make plans to visit colleges and universities, those ones that you're most interested in. So make sure that you have that opportunity. If you're not able to do it now, go ahead and take advantage of a lot of cool virtual visit opportunities that are still out there because of COVID. I think any smart college and university is going to continue to offer those virtual visits just to see if folks are interested and kind of start you along the process, but definitely take advantage of them because you might find something really cool. And then work with your admission counselor. So at every school where you're applying, you will have somebody who's assigned to you to work with you on your college process. So whatever that looks like for that school, make sure that you're working with them. If they ask you questions, if they text you or whatever, you respond every now and again. It really does help us to understand where you're at in your process. And that's really important for everyone there. And then again, this is your college search. So don't forget that and make sure that you are doing what's best for you and you're making all of that work for you. There's a couple of myths that we want to talk about when it comes to paying for college. And I went ahead and talked to a lot of my colleagues at the college where I'm working currently and a couple of other ones because there's a lot out there and I wanted to make sure we covered all of them. So there tends to be this myth out there that there might be full tuition or nearly full tuition scholarships out there for everybody. And as much as I wish that that would be the case, that's not always the case, right? So you should plan to pay something for college. But what you want to know and what you want to do is basically make sure that you are paying what you can, right? Not necessarily what the school expects you to pay. So we'll kind of go through that a little bit more, but make sure that you understand that you're going to be paying something for college. It's just a matter of what that might be. And another myth is that you're not going to file the FAFSA because you won't qualify for any aid. So say your family is fairly well off, or you maybe have an older sibling and they applied for the FAFSA and then they didn't get anything, or your cousin or anything like that. Everyone qualifies for at least one federal student loan. So whenever you file that FAFSA, make sure that you're doing it because that might give you an opportunity that you hadn't considered before. And you have to file the FAFSA at a lot of different schools in order for them to consider giving you additional aid. So I just want to throw that out there. It's not fun at all to do, but it is very easy. When I was going through the college process, and I'm going to do this like eye roll thing where I was like, oh, so old, but I had to do it on paper. I had to like literally write in. It's not great. Now they make it really easy. So I definitely recommend filing the FAFSA. That's one of those big things. Another myth, I won't apply to private colleges and universities because I won't get the same kind of financial aid that I will at public schools. And that is definitely not the case. Sometimes private colleges have a little bit more leeway. Most of the time, they have a little bit more leeway with how much aid they're offering. And if there's a situation where your family is having some financial troubles, they can work with you a little bit more closely and maybe adjust your aid accordingly. So I wouldn't rule out private schools, just to throw that out there, because you might get more aid than you would expect. Another myth is that you can't file the FAFSA until your parents pay the current tax year taxes, not pay, but file. And that's not true. So the FAFSA is based on the prior year's tax information. So if they have filed that year, you can do that as well. So I wouldn't use that as a barrier. And then another one that we hear quite a bit recently is that my family is going through a difficult time, whether there's been illness in the family or having some financial difficulty, and that you won't be able to go to college because of that. And that is a big barrier, I know, but I wouldn't let that get in the way of applying and seeing what kind of aid you might be able to get. A lot of schools, especially, I know that our school does this, is that we look at certain individual situations, and if you bring that up to your admission counselor or talk with the financial aid office at the schools that you're interested in, they might be able to offer you additional aid based on that, or they might be able to help you recalculate your EFC, which is that expected family contribution, because you've had some additional difficulty. So make sure that you're using all the resources around you and don't believe all the myths about paying for college. So let's talk a little bit about tuition. I just want to kind of get this out of the way. So tuition is the cost of instruction, and that's calculated by the college or university for private schools, or by the state or the state institutions for public schools. Usually the tuition is just that amount that is for the cost of instruction. Some schools will add fees and costs into other costs into their tuition, but there's always going to be fees and other costs. So just kind of make sure that you're thinking about that when it comes time to get those award letters and offer letters from colleges. You can find all of the tuition costs and hopefully all of the fees and other costs on college and university websites. So make sure that you are going and doing a quick look at all the schools that you're interested in and see what that might look like. Now, also, there may be opportunities to do net price calculators, and we'll talk a little about what net price is, but you can actually use income information and possible tax information to calculate an estimated cost for different schools. So that is always a fantastic resource. If the school has one, it's usually on the website. You can check, search net price calculator, and I'm almost positive it will be there, or you can work with your admission counselor and see how to get one of those going. A little bit about tuition and sticker price. So we can kind of go through this a little bit quickly, but I went ahead and pulled up the tuition costs for my college, Illinois College. Since we are a private liberal arts college, this is what we are offering in terms of full-time tuition, fees, and room and board. For us, the full-time tuition actually does include textbooks, and the fees are all in here. Everything is included, but there's a lot that's missing when you look at this. So I just want to throw this out there. This is just the sticker price. This is not anything else that is on the webpage for our tuition costs. We have a ton of additional information. Literally, this is all you see, right? You see that total estimated direct cost, and you're like, I don't think I can do that, and it gets scary, right? So here is how you should kind of go about this. Yes, knowing the sticker price is great because then you can see it. But then you want to start thinking in your mind, okay, well, what scholarships and what other financial aid are available to help offset this cost? Because you can probably assume that at any private college or institute college, there's going to be merit scholarships. Any of the public schools, there's going to be scholarships that you can either apply for or that you are directly qualified for based on your FAFSA or on your application. So there's always going to be something that's going to help you offset that. So that cost of attendance, that sticker price, it doesn't include any of those scholarships, any of the grants that you'd be receiving, or any of the loans that you qualified for based on your FAFSA. So do not remove a school from your list based on that sticker price alone. It's really common to do that, and it is really sad because you might be missing out on a great opportunity because it seems a little bit scary. So definitely don't do that. Take a little bit more time with it. This is the part of the college search process where you're gonna need to practice a little patience and also persistence. So here's a little bit about that net price and the actual cost of attendance. So sticker price is the full cost as listed on the website, just like you saw on the last one. Your financial aid and gift aid and scholarships and grants, all of that are going to be located in that kind of gift aid part. And then that will come together with your net price. So that is your actual cost to attend that particular institution. You can use that net price calculator that I mentioned to kind of come to this, but this will kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what your actual cost of attendance would be. Your, again, don't remove a school based on that sticker price alone, and definitely practice a little bit of patience on that. So that net price is what you're looking for. Here's a couple of facts about sticker price that I do want to highlight pretty closely. That price can be scary. So do your research, contact those people and the resources that you have at your disposal, especially at the college or institution that you're interested in, and they can help you walk through it. Again, don't decide against the school based on sticker price. A couple more. Every student's actual cost attendant is absolutely unique to that student because their financial situation is unique to them, as well as all of the other things that are, come together in their application and in their FAFSA. So make sure that you are looking at all of your information. It's really tempting to find out like your friend got into a certain school and then they got, they're not having to pay as much, and that's too bad. Remember, it's a unique experience, so this is a unique situation to you. It takes some work to get to that actual cost of attendance, so make sure that you are patient and kind of hanging in there too. I know that a lot of schools end up holding on to their financial aid offers each year, and they'll just release it at some point, so you do have to be a little bit patient with that. And we wish we could just give it to you right away, but that's not always how that ends up working, because the federal government has a lot of different guidelines for when they can start releasing things, and so we want to make sure that we're in compliance. Another sticker price fact: each school has different ways of meeting demonstrated need. So demonstrated financial need from your FAFSA. And so that depends on each different school. So ask questions. I like to say that no question regarding financial aid is a dumb question. So make sure that you can find that person at the college or university that you are looking at, and they can be your resource for this. So make sure that you're asking those questions. It's going to be very important. So if you're not focusing on the sticker price and you're not sure what your actual cost of attendance is going to be, I love to mention that focusing on value is going to be the best thing that you're going to be able to do during that college search, because this is the real meat of your college search. You're going to want to look at, is this school a right fit for me? Outside of money, what else am I looking for? What are those deal breakers, and how can I kind of check that off of my list for certain schools and help you to make decisions? So yeah, make sure that you are definitely focusing on value. So value refers to any tangible experience, things that college or universities can point to that make that diploma worth what they're asking, right? Examples from Illinois College. So I will kind of throw that out there since this is what I know best right now. Our textbooks are included in our tuition, which means we are literally taking away the additional cost of textbooks. And then we are also taking away your need to actually find those books. You don't have to do major searches for books. We will literally have them for you when you come to campus. That is awesome. We have a finish in 4 guarantee, where we guarantee, and we kind of come into an agreement with each student that comes to campus and starts classes, where they say that they're going to do everything they possibly can to make sure that they graduate in 4 years, and we're going to do the same. We offer to pay additional tuition if for some reason you can't graduate in 4 years and you've done everything you possibly can, and we have too. So we will pay for you to finish. As a result, our 4-year graduation rate is really high above the national average, and we're really proud of that. We offer a ton of internships and experiential learning opportunities, all of those things that you're going to be able to put in your toolkit and add to your resume, and add to, if you're going to go to grad school after all of it is said and done, you're going to be able to have this really great opportunity to put together a really cool application or anything like that to show how much experience you actually have. We offer a ton of student support. Every student that comes to Illinois College receives an academic coach. So they are literally, it's kind of like a life coach for college. They're going to help you figure out how to manage your time, how to get involved, maybe combat a little bit of homesickness, help you if you need any counseling or tutoring help. All of those things are included and offer a great value to our students. So we definitely tell our students to come visit campus so you can see for yourself. That is a big part of focusing on value. And then I have all of this stuff in here too, but we definitely offer a ton of grants and scholarships to kind of help, actually help offset the costs, so that your actual cost of attendance is pretty comparable to at least the state institutions here in Illinois and around the country as well. So I mentioned that if you're focusing on value and finding value, that the visit is super important, and that is super true. Whether you're doing a virtual visit and then possibly an in-person visit later on, that is great. You're at least seeing for yourself, or virtually or in person, what the campus is like. You want to be able to meet folks from the school. So whether it's professors or current students, your admission counselor, or somebody who can help you kind of make a connection to the school, that's going to be very important. And you want to take every advantage to learn all the stuff that you can about the school while you're there, and just to see how it feels, right? When we talk about fit, we talk about like stories from our current students who they come to campus and they say, wow, it just felt really like home. I felt like I could be here and, be my best self here. Or, my friend and I stepped on campus and it just felt like the best place that we needed to be. So we knew that this is a place that we wanted to be. And regardless of the college, regardless of the experience, regardless of major, if you're going to figure out what your fit is, that feeling is really important. So getting to campus is really important too. So figure out how to make that happen. And it is not always easy, I will say. So make sure that you're taking advantage of some opportunities. All schools do some sort of events, and we'll probably be going a little bit more back to that. So seeing if there's opportunities to travel to those events or anything like that would be really cool. And then you'll be able to see really what the school is like in action, which I love. Ask questions. Ask all your questions. No questions are dumb. We have heard all of them. I mean, all of them. And if it's unique, then we'll be like, wow, I've never gotten that question before, but I will, answer this way. Make sure that you are doing that because you want to know, and that's your opportunity, right? And we want to make sure that you get the most out of your experience. So asking those questions is going to be really important. And ask yourself after your visit, like kind of check in with yourself. Like, has this experience really made a difference to you? Can you see yourself at that school? Is this some place where you might want to, look more into? That sort of thing. It's really important to kind of use that in determining your fit. And then working really closely with your admission counselor is a really good way to kind of find that value as well, because they can come up with all sorts of great things. They can help you talk with certain professors, or they can help you learn about a program that is super unique to that school, or they can really just kind of connect you with some different ideas or different things, get you excited about some things that are going on campus. So work closely with your admission counselor. It's going to be really important. And we do this work because we want to help people figure out that our school is possibly the place where they would want to be. We think it's great. So we're going to want to show that to you as well. So read your emails. It's going to be another one. I know it's super overwhelming and there's tons of emails coming in, and I get it. But if you're reading them and possibly responding to them, if you have something to say, then you're really going to be in the know, and that's really important. Also involve your family in the process. Make sure that your family knows that they can contact the admission counselor as well. We are not bound by privacy in terms of information about the school. So if you have questions about college or university that your student is interested in, that's great. But if you are asking about financial stuff, just know that the school is going to have to make sure that you as the parent or family member are listed on the FAFSA. And so then we can give you that additional financial information. But we're not bound by FERPA quite yet in the college search process. So we will be able to answer some questions for you in terms of the family. So that's great. Be upfront with us too if you have decided on another school and are just trying to figure out a way to let us know. It's not a breakup, I promise. Like, we've been working with you and it's been really fun, but it's really better for us to know if you're not interested anymore. And then that way we won't be bothering you with additional information and more emails. So just something to consider as well. And for more information, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Illinois College, I have to throw it out there because that is what I do. But here's a little information. You can definitely check us out on the web, on our website. All my contact information is here. And if you would like to schedule a virtual visit, complete with meeting with an admission counselor and meeting with a current student, please go ahead and check on that visit webpage, and we will go ahead and get you kind of started on this process if that's something you're interested in. but I am open to any questions. I know that this is a big topic and it was hard to figure out what to include. So I'm definitely willing to answer any questions. If you want to go ahead and put it in the chat, you can, or if you just want to go ahead and unmute yourself, I am open for that. No questions? Okay.
Sarah Jean, you did such a great job giving this overview, and just to kind of tag on, everything you said is so helpful and valuable. And I do hope that students talk with their families or families talk with their students, and then take advantage of the resources on each college's website, as you mentioned, and the reps. So I just want to echo everything you've said, and I hope people, take advantage of those tips.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, we have a question about WUI. Yeah, so a little bit about WUI, which is Western Undergraduate Exchange. So each school has a different WUI policy based on what is kind of a level of tuition cost based on whether they're a WUI school or not. I used to work at a WUI school. Since we're a private institution, we don't have that. Everyone has the exact same tuition, regardless of whether you're from down the street or from California or from, an international country. So we're all kind of the same. But in terms of WUI for other schools, you will have a different tuition amount, which is much better than what your out-of-state tuition cost would be. And then there are some schools where it's only certain majors. So definitely look out for that. If you have a certain major in mind, just making sure that that's actually offered in WUI. But some schools are just open, like everything. So there's certain states within that are WUI eligible. So make sure you're looking at that too. I can't remember what the website is for WUI, but we could probably get you more information on that, I'm sure. Do you know what that is, Laura? Because that has a lot of good information there too.
I just dropped it in the chat.
Perfect. That's great. Thanks. Yeah, I would go ahead and check that out, and then definitely talk to the school. What does it mean for them to be a WUI school if they are? That's another good thing to ask if you're, kind of doing a visit, or if you are, learning about somebody at a, a college fair table. Asking about WUI is going to be important too. So it's a great opportunity, because sometimes the tuition break is really great. So I would check that out for sure. What other questions can I answer for you all? All right, well, it's possible you're thinking about more, but definitely, take all of this stuff to heart. I will go back, and if you have any questions for me, or if you have an interest in Illinois College, go ahead and just email me, or you can find me on the webpage as well. But it's been really fun talking with you all. This is great. And I actually get a chance to turn this presentation into a blog post, which I'm excited about. So it's been a great little exercise in figuring out how to talk about all of this a little bit in a way that's not like completely my school. So it's been really nice to do this for you all. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Did you have a question? Sorry, I see your hand raised.
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, hi. I do have a question. So my husband filled out the FAFSA form, and I'm just wondering, is that, and so we don't qualify, it looks like we don't qualify for much aid. However, we live in a very high cost area, so we don't have a lot of expendable income for college, but is that like a hard and fast number for colleges when you see what's in FAFSA? Can we expect to not have much aid other than merit aid?
It does depend by school. So I can tell you what we do, and that might end up helping you get an idea about what that might look like. But so if we have, so say if I was working with you, I would go ahead and check in with our student financial services, and we would see if there's, you know, given the individual situation, if there was anything more that we could do aid wise. You know, and that's the case for if there's been, you know, illness in your family, or if you've had a, you know, a reduction in income or anything like that. They might be able to do kind of a recalculation of what your estimated family contribution could be. Each college is different though, with the amount of estimated, it's like the, I'm forgetting what it's called, but it's the, yeah, the actual, the need of your family. So everyone kind of calculates that a little bit different based on what you can actually pay, but it's a little bit different. So I would check in with different schools and kind of see what they say, because it just, they're the ones who are going to be distributing the aid, and they're the ones who are going to be doing that. So it's probably better for you to talk with them. But there is there's not necessarily a hard and fast, and there's a lot of things that schools do. It just depends on which school you're looking at.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
This was
you're welcome.
very informative. Thank you.
Good, I'm so glad. Well, yeah, if you, you know, make sure you're working with your high school counselor too. It's really important. And I'm so glad you're all able to attend during the summer too. It's great. So you're getting a good start on everything. So yeah. I don't think we have any other questions. So I think we are good. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, cool.